Previously, on the secrets of Neros, 4 intrepid adventurers arrived in the town of Kron and joined a guild known as the Kings of the Craft. The party has faced several challenges thus far, but have proved their mettle and advanced from E to D rank, though their trials have only just begun. During a recent outing, the party bore witness to a perturbing spectacle that was fraught with torture and unsettling ideas as a tiefling and warlock were publicly executed by the enigmatic cult of Eldeth. The party, unable to conceal their indignation and disgust, drew unwanted attention from the crowd. In response, Simeon attempted to placate the jeering masses by claiming he was an advocate for the innocent, just as the executioner had previously proclaimed. Though Simeon succeeded in diffusing the conflict, his words may have unforeseen ramifications, as he piqued the curiosity of the executioner, which has already impacted the guild. Finally, the party confronted the Emerald figure, who, like her daughter before her, admonished the party, before lashing out in fury, taking particular exception to Finion. After a brief struggle, the manor was besieged by spectral hounds who drove our heroes out into the open. Although weary and battered, the party persevered and obtained the final gem before retreating to rest for the remainder of the evening. On the morrow, the party returned to the attic and swiftly solved the puzzle, but was soon faced with a malignant mirror who could warp the minds of its foes. Once the battle was done, the party experienced the final moments of the Four Lanes, who were laid low by a familiar executioner and betrayed by Velan, a dear family friend. And thus, our story continues as we learn the secrets of Neros. Okay, one of these days, honest to God, I will actually get this intro right. Anyway, we're back again with more Heroes of Neros. Overlow's been updated slightly. We've now got Finion's stats up, and we're also tracking his HP, so we can actually keep a little better track of him.
Also, it's one less job for me.
Yeah, indeed. I
Oh
believe.
man, that portrait is so perfect for him. Holy crap.
Yeah, I know, right?
I went through every single
It
one.
was literally the only portrait that was an elf and looked unsure of himself. And we knew in that moment that had to be the portrait of Finion. But, yeah. So, with that, Doom, take it away.
Okie dokie. So, you've just come out of the battle, defeating the mirror. You have taken the knife and wrapped it up and put it into Nargrex's bag. Flint has just gathered a load of loot from one of the chests, and that is where we ended off.
Yeah, I think I healed the party a little bit as well.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think that was about it.
Okie dokie. You start to hear a light drum against the outside roof. It sounds like it's starting to rain.
Okay.
Excellent.
Skies weep for what happened to you.
Finion is going to walk over to Flint. Did you find anything nice?
I can't remember if I did or not, to be honest.
You found a wand of healing with 10 charges in it.
No.
You found some gold. What else did you find?
A bag of
Like
tricks.
And there was some gems, I believe, as well.
So I found some gold, a wand of healing, and a bag of tricks, which I would like to keep for myself. No one else minds. And the rest in here is plenty of gems and other things.
Would you mind sharing some of the gold?
We'll make a
Sure.
mercenary of you yet, lad.
It would be prudent to share our spoils amongst the party, Flint.
What gold? I didn't say anything about gold. Aha, hand everyone 50 gold each.
Can I, fucking hell, Christ.
Approximately.
Unless you got that much.
200, I think it were.
Did you say 50 each, Si?
Oh,
You got like a couple of hundred, didn't you? So it's pretty sweet right there.
Make sure you deduct it as well from yours. Flint.
I have done.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I get 50 more. Yay.
You're not poor anymore.
Oh, I mean, still relative.
this time, yeah.
Yeah. He isn't good with money,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
I don't remember if we did a sweep of the room.
No,
Right in
we
afterwards.
literally just fought the mirror, didn't we? Because
Mhm.
it was pretty much I went in there, cast detect good and evil, went a bit closer, it's on the door, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I know we got the Skyrim end boss loot chest. Is there anything else of interest in the room?
Roll investigation. There's lots of old crates and lots of cobwebs and dustiness. You see a few spiders running around in the rafters. But
Cool.
that's about it. Plenty of
spiders.
ruined furniture.
Cool.
There's a spider near him and he goes right for the door. It opens and he goes out.
Interesting
out here.
spiders in this mouse. Oh, Finion? Finion, what's wrong?
I understand not a big fan of spiders. Okay. Too many legs. I hate things with more than 4 legs.
Nagrax just kind of looks down at the spider, looks quizzically back to Finion, and just kind of goes about his business, not really understanding quite what the problem is, but kind of
Make a dex
respects.
save.
You want me to make a dex save?
Yes.
Oh, come on. Is that because of my sass against spiders?
Yes.
Okay. 13.
I'd say with 13, you beat it. The spider tries to crawl onto your leg, but you move and it just crawls away.
I basically just take a very slight step to the left. Like, maybe a moment like where the spider kind of mirrors me, sort of like moving, and I just kind of manage to step around it.
Damn, I wanted to keep that as a pet.
Oh well, what a shame.
So,
So, what are you guys going to do now then?
I think Nagrax will chime in and say, considering what we just saw, I'm not really entirely sure what to make of the situation here. It's very possible that Butler may be involved.
I think we need to have a word with him.
Yes, but first, rest and revelry, for another battle has been won.
Something else bothers me also. You recall, Flint, that Bradley, when he appeared to you, asked us to find Damien.
He did.
We've not encountered him yet. And frankly, considering what we see in this mansion, I should have imagined that he would have come to face us. Perhaps he's still confined to his room.
Maybe. Surely let us.
Sorry, Flint, you go ahead.
Hopefully, you'll let us in this time.
I'd recommend that, well, Simeon has the best idea. We should recuperate. That was a hard-won fight.
Was.
Let's go check on the lad, see if he remains.
Kidoki. I assume you guys go back to the second floor then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The first floor, sorry.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so you go down the hall and you notice that the door is ajar.
I'll step in.
You step into the room and it's exactly as it was last time. But where you've knocked over the toys previously, they were placed back in place.
And about the ones I left at the door.
They are still just right where they were left.
Oh, I guess he didn't want to play with these.
Is there any presence in the room?
I could roll religion just to see whether I can sense
Roll your
anything.
religion.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably not going to do
It's
very
just a
much.
room.
How is it I have better religion than the religious guy?
Yeah, I've said that before. I'm not really sure how that's worked out, but there might be an in-law reason for that anyway. I don't sense anything unusual here, Simeon. We might need to come back here during the evening, or it could be possible that defeating the mirror may have had an effect on this place.
Damien, are you in here? We know what happened to you.
You get no response.
Nagrax actually tries. Actually, he says, Simeon, you might want to step to the side for a moment. I'm going to try touching one of the toys again. Nagrax
for it.
approaches one of the toys and just picks it up. Does anything happen?
Nope.
Nagrax kind of furrows his brow. He picks up a second toy just to make sure it wasn't a fluke.
Just pick up the toy.
Yeah, it is literally just picked up.
Yep.
Okay, Nagrax just places the toy down, turns around, walks out the room.
I'd li-
Oh, sorry, go on.
I'd like to go to the door frame and try and kick some dirt back in again.
Yeah, I'll take that suggestion on board. Nagrax will try and do that.
You kick some random bits of dirt. One of the toys goes into the room and nothing happens.
Does the dirt kind of go into the room though, because it was kind of like
Yeah.
cut off at the boundary last time? Okay. This room
Maybe
isn't as it was before. As I said, it could be very possible that the mirror may have been sort of what was tethering the four lanes to this world.
I hope we've put them all to rest now. I'll give a bow of the head.
If what we saw, considering what we saw, Simeon, we may need to do more yet to honour their memory.
I'd like to
Certainly.
check again, just in case.
Simeon, roll perception. Even with a 9, you hear a little kind of tap, like something's just fallen. Seems like it's
Right.
coming from several rooms over to your left.
You guys, did you hear that?
No. What have you heard, Simeon?
A noise. It may
As you
not,
walk
at least
past,
not be alone.
as you walk past the door to the last small bedroom, you see a crayon just roll slightly on the floor, looking like it's fallen off the bed. And on the bed, you see a piece of paper that wasn't there last time you were here.
I'm going to go look at it.
You look at the piece of paper. It's a crude child's drawing of what you suppose would be the stables, with 4 figures and one set by a fire, and the small child. There is, in very badly written common, the word "I."
Goodbye, young one. I'll take the piece of paper with me.
Okay.
Maybe he's trying to say his eyes at the stable or something. I feel sure we would have noticed it though if it was.
Come, back to the stable. Let us not linger in this place any longer.
I see no reason
Yes.
to remain here.
Okay. As you guys go down to the main hall, you open up the doors and look outside. The rain has gotten quite heavy. Do you still go outside?
Yes.
Okay. You go outside and you walk towards, I'm assuming, the barn?
Yep.
Or stable, sorry.
Stable.
When you get to the stables, you see that the floor is starting to become a bit flooded. There's leaks in the roof, and what little straw was left over there is soaked. The outside of it is becoming muddy.
I could use that tiny hut now.
I kind
Waiting
of
to rest.
Seems the gods do not want us to linger here.
I don't recall that there were any other places to stay, however. Or perhaps all the establishments were just shut upon our arrival.
Best not travel in such weather. We could take shelter back in the manor. Presence is gone. Seems safe for now.
Nigrex kind of ponders on it for a moment.
Can I just inspect the stables to see if there's anything different about them with that drawing we
Roll
seeing, so-
investigation. The only difference that you can see in the stables is that the water is given way inside it.
So I was hoping we could tell something different with the drawing you found, Simeon, but it just looks like the same stable but wet. Back to the main house it is, I guess.
I was going
No, we
to
could-
I was going to suggest that maybe we could also sleep in the servants' quarters, considering there were already sleeping bags in there.
I don't like the idea of using a dead man's sleeping bag, not with what's happened today.
You'll all have your own bedding rolls anyway, from
Why
your
w-
packs, won't you?
Why
Yeah,
would we use... we have our own. Why?
Nigrex kind of like looks blankly for a moment, and he just kind of remembers. Fair point, actually, Simeon. I forgot I had the sleeping bag. I think this is the map I deleted myself from. Actually, yeah,
You're
I'm
the
this
woman now.
one. Yeah,
What happened here?
I am a woman now.
Oh yeah, this is where Bug's now a lady.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll sleep in this room. I'm just going to put my head down. I don't really feel that great after today.
I will sleep in the same room as Finion, just to kind of keep an eye.
Okay.
Best not sleep alone, just in case. Flint, which bed do you want?
I'm not first. Bed's a bed.
I'll sit on it. I've definitely slept in worse.
I just say that when you sit down, the sheets are very... They've not moved in years, so they kind of creak as you sit on them.
Creak?
Yeah.
Perhaps I'd rather use my sleeping bag than lay on this dusty old bed.
Yes, maybe you're correct. Oh well. What time is it?
It was night when you went in, so it's going to be in the morning at the moment.
Oh,
It'll be
cool.
1 or 2 a.m.
Cool. So sleep time, yes. All of you get some rest. I'll cover the first watch. We need to stay vigilant.
Yeah, Nigrex will just kind of put his head down to have a rest.
I'll post up in the common room or whatever it is
Okay then.
for my watch.
Your watch goes by, the wind howls during the night, and you hear the rain beating heavily against the window. But otherwise, nothing happens. Who do you wait for your next watch?
Oh wait, no, Grax.
Okay then.
Okay.
Rex, you go and take your watch, and yet again, nothing happens. The rain continues to beat heavily. The wind howls, you hear it coming down the chimney where the fireplace is in the kitchen. But otherwise, nothing happens.
Okay. If there's nothing suspicious, I will just go and wake Flint for his watch.
Will this
This
time
time
count
when
as
you
a short rest?
But this time when you come back, Finion is already awake.
Finion's already awake. Okay, if Finion's already awake, I'll let him take the watch.
Finion smiles and goes outside, and he generally just settles down and meditates throughout his watch. Again, nothing happens.
Okay.
As the morning passes, he lets you all sleep in a little bit longer before eventually coming and rousing you all.
What a nice guy. Oh,
So-
good morning, lad.
Good morning.
Are you feeling
How
Yeah,
are
any
your
better?
spirits?
Looks towards the door. It's been coming down quite heavy. It's eased up for a little bit, but it's a bit muddy out there.
Will that count as a long rest, by the way?
Yes. So now everything that you've gotten from your level up is now in effect. And all your hit points are returned.
Desperate to get those spell slots back, huh?
No.
I mean, yeah, I was, to be honest. I had none.
Right, I guess I'll step outside, see how it's looking.
You step outside. There is a bit of sunshine generally in the air, but the ground is very muddy. Wherever there's trees or bushes, water drips quite feverishly. If you look over towards where the lake is, you see that it seems to have encroached on the shores a bit more than what it was previously.
Yeah, the actual shoreline has, you mean?
Yes.
I always hate a large downpour. Makes it murder on a march.
Dude, did the rain start the instant we defeated the mirror?
Not the instant, no.
Okay.
Can we tell if it's just regular shore encroach or something mystical?
Royal Arcana, whilst looking at the lake. Seems to just be that the water level's risen a bit from the rain.
I don't think it's anything to worry about. It just seems to have risen from the downpour.
I think
Let's go meet Philly. Yes.
Say again, sorry.
Let's go meet Philly at the gate, hopefully. He'll like what we've discovered. Or not, if he is involved.
I think we
You
should
start-
take her to check his reaction when we tell him about some of the events. We might not want to mention a vision straight away.
Start to hear the clop of hooves against stone and the wiggle of a wagon. And you see Filion approaching the gates. Good morning.
Filion!
Hello. You seem to be in decent spirits.
And good reason too. Mission accomplished. We've solved your ghost problem.
You've solved it?
Yes, the presence seems to be gone, from what we can tell.
With that, he looks at the manor with a frown on his brow, then looks back at you. He holds up a hand and starts to trace a sigil in the air. Light remains floating in the air where his finger has been. He then closes his eyes with the hand palm open facing the manor. A moment passes,
Can I
and then he
just
lowers
ask,
his hand. Go ahead.
as he's drawing the sigil, can I roll legend to see if it's sort of like some sort of... It's not like a cleric sort
I'd
of
say
spell.
roll Arcana.
Arcana for that, okay.
Yes. At 20.
No.
Okay. You can tell that the spell, it seems to be some form of detect good and evil, but with a much larger range on it.
Okay. I kind of just made comments so note I don't reveal information.
He lowers his hand and then looks at you all. How did you do that? People have been trying for decades to clear this house. The president
None of our predecessors had our skill.
Well, clearly. Oh my god, the young master will be thrilled to hear this. Just hold for 1 second. He traces another sigil in the air and holds his hand out. And a minute passes, quite awkward silence. And a bird lands on his hand. It seems to be some kind of small falcon. He takes a small note out of his pocket and attaches it to its leg, and the bird flies away. I've just sent that off to the young master. He will be sending a reward to your guild house for you. Is there anything in particular you would like? I can edit the notes whilst it's still in transit magically.
I just look at Nargrax, hopefully he can convey, but it's should we tell him what we've discovered? So look.
Nargrax kind of looks towards Flint. He kind of just gives him an acknowledging nod, and then he kind of turns to Finion. Oh, sorry, his name is Finion, isn't it? The butler.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Finion, and just says, I have to say, as much as Simeon sort of is praising our accomplishments, it was a hard-won fight. We faced many obstacles. In particular, we faced some sort of mirror in the attic. Do you happen to know, sort of if the Four Lions kept any unusual artifacts? I'm watching his reaction, by the way, as I'm asking him this question.
Yep.
He thinks for a moment. There were various magical weaponry from back when the master used to explore. There was a few wands that I know of. There was a silvered mace that used to be in one of the lounges. I can't really say I know too much about the items they possessed. I didn't exactly live here, so.
Actually, the one thing that I will probably do at this point, and I don't know if I regret this honestly, is do you know the knife in my bag?
Yes.
It is wrapped up at the moment, isn't it, as per last session?
Yes.
I take the knife out of my bag, I hold it in front of him and said, you know anything of this?
He looks at the knife for a moment. Can't say that I know of it. It's looks to be an interesting thing. He reaches out for the knife.
I kind of move my hand away as he reaches out. Said, some rather unusual things happened whenever any of us came into contact with this knife, so I wouldn't recommend that you touch it.
Oh, I see. He pulls his hand back pretty much instantly.
Doom, can I roll insight to see if he's holding back anything from the moment that I reveal the knife?
He doesn't seem to be holding anything back at all.
Doesn't seem to be holding anything back. Okay. I just put the knife away in that case, and yeah, I don't really think Nargrax has much else to say for the time being. He'll just let one of the others take the lead in the conversation.
What was the name of the I didn't note it down.
The elf.
The
The
half
butler?
elf guy.
Yeah, the
No,
Velan.
not the butler. Velan.
Yeah, Nargrax was tempted to ask about Velan, but he's kind of just waiting for someone else to take over the conversation because he just doesn't want to be seen to push too hard.
Finion, you said the half elf Velan now resides in Cron, yes?
Oh yes, he has a trading business there. I believe he
Oh.
mostly helps to trade the farm stock, etc. You know, like grains and carrots and things like that. But he also dabbles in scrolls as well.
Oh, excellent. We'll make sure to pay him a visit. Tell him the good news. I'm sure he'd like to know that the house is now at rest.
Oh, I'm sure he will be thrilled about that, yes. He found it difficult to come back here after everything that happened. His shop is in the trade districts. What is its name? I believe it was Velan's trade goods. Very simple, I know, but It should be down on the main trade street. It's not a very large shop. He keeps his stock in a warehouse off-site.
Yeah. Well, bear it in mind, I think, considering they had such close ties to the family, the least we can do is to let him know in person that his old friends are at rest.
Ah, yes, I do definitely agree with that. Well, I suppose you'll be wanting your wagon back. Uh,
Yes, I presume there's no further business here.
Oh, before I forget, I do have today's gold. He hands everyone a bag of 10 gold, and you notice that he actually passes through the gates behind you the bags.
Yeah, so now.
So everyone add 10 gold to your amounts.
Yep.
Will do.
There should be a fairly good, as I said before, there should be a good payout waiting for you when you actually reach your guild hall. It will be sent immediately by a larger hawk that can actually carry a bit more gold than obviously the messenger hawk that I just used. Well, if you don't mind, I would appreciate if you would drop me off in town. The roads have gotten quite muddy recently. The downpour, well, it definitely wasn't the nicest of things.
Yes, of course.
On the horse trail above way, the canopy that you bought is currently over it.
Cool.
Except from the rain.
Cool.
Is there anything that you need to get before you leave?
I think we've been well stocked for supplies since you've quite generously provided us with sustenance for the time that we've been here. In fact, did you bring any sandwiches for us today by chance?
Oh yes, of course, sandwiches. But 1 second. He just goes into the back of the carriage and quickly pulls out 4 lunch boxes and hands them to each of you.
Ah, thank you.
I always like a snack on the road.
I believe that this will cover our needs for sustenance on the way back.
Excellent, excellent. Well, let's be going then. And with that, he goes and hops into the cart. Would you like me to drive, or would one of you like to drive?
I think Nigrex might try to drive this time since he was kind of watching Simeon the last time.
Okay then. Everyone
I'll
jumps in.
sit up front with him. Is there 2 seats up front on this, or is it just 1 up front?
It's a bench, so you can fit 2.
I like how the
I'll
initial
sit up
reaction is,
front with him.
Nigrex wants to drive, he must be supervised.
I'll sit at the back. Which are you?
Okay.
And Finion will
Come
be
now, Grax. I'll show you the ropes.
I mean,
little joke there.
The thing is, though, Simeon, I learned how the ropes worked thanks to you. I was admittedly a bit unsure the last time we did this, but I've always had a rather natural affinity with animals. I'm sure it can't be that hard.
Then take the reins, as it were.
Okay.
Another little sting for you.
Nigrex takes the reins.
Okay, okay. You start to lead the horses back, and I'm going to say make an animal handling check, but I'm going to give you advantage. I'm just going to say you just make the roll. You don't get advantage because you were going to have disadvantage without Simeon.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, I have +4 in animal handling, by the way. So I don't know if that would have made a difference.
Okay, 16. Yeah, you managed to lead the horses and keep them on the road without issue. Really
Ironically, you have a higher bonus to your animal handling than I do.
It's just Nigrex has no common sense, so he didn't really realise that that could be a transferable skill. So
Okay, so you guys make your way back to the town. No incidents. The modes are particularly muddy, you notice, as you're travelling. And once you reach the edge of the town, the butler hops off. All right. Well, I suppose this is where we'll part. It's been a pleasure, and I believe the young master will be thrilled beyond belief that you have come and helped us so much. You have done what many of us couldn't.
Give our regards to the young master. And the next time we're in town, I'm going to hold you to that drink. I'll give him a predator handshake.
It means it.
He gives it you back, and he squeezes, and you can feel him squeeze.
Nigrex will also shake his hand as well, just out of courtesy.
He will shake your hand, and expecting the same thing, he will squeeze.
Nigrex will try to oblige. I hope there isn't going to be an opposed jump check, and you'll kind of like flip me over if I fail.
I'm going to just say make a Constitution save.
Right.
Why do I talk myself into these situations?
Constitution. He's got poison in the skin like a frog.
15.
Okay. He squeezes your hand, and for a second you nearly kind of squint your eyes, but you just smile and return the squeeze back equally.
I have to say, Finion, you have a rather firm grip. It's quite impressive, actually.
I'm 250 years old. I would hope I would have a decent grip by now.
Yes, indeed. Well, all the best to you and the young master, and I wish you well.
And you too. Good day.
I'll get back onto the carriage and take the reins again.
He puts his arms behind his back and he starts to walk into town. So you guys
Can
go
I-
back to the road.
As he leaves, can I just sort of turn back, just give him one last look,
Go ahead. You give him another look.
just a lingering glance.
He doesn't look back. He just keeps
I trust him, but there's still that lingering bit of doubt. Like maybe.
You do
So
notice
nothing
he's
suspicious.
walking a bit more lively than when you've seen him before.
What was that side?
Notice that when he's walking a little bit more lively than he was before.
Hmm.
All right then.
Okay. So what do you guys do now then?
As you get back on, I assume you rejoin the carriage, right, Alf?
Yep.
Yeah. As he gets back and just waiting for him to be out of earshot, I'll probably actually start moving the horses away from the town, and I'll just speak as a ride if I can do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that was the figure that we saw in the vision. I would have strongly suspected that he would have had some sort of reaction to that knife, considering it seemed to be a rather integral part of that ritual we witnessed.
Maybe we should have told him about the vision we saw.
The reason I didn't, Flint, is that I suspect that the figure we saw may have been his master.
Yes, if he was involved, it's best not to overshow our hand.
It's possible that he may not even know. Unlikely, mind you, but even so, to have no reaction to the knife that killed the majority of the Forlane family. He either has no knowledge of it, or his ability to deceive is greater than ours is to perceive.
I guess time will tell.
He seems genuine. Nothing can get past these sharp eyes.
For the time being, I am inclined to believe he's simian. That said, however, I do believe that at some point we should pay Velan a visit.
Agreed.
Yes, absolutely.
It bothers
What
me.
he did.
Though. We saw the executioner again. That's the second time we've encountered him recently. Seems that the cult of Eldaf has dealings quite far and wide in this region.
Yes.
In
We may have to deal with them. Hopefully not by ourselves.
No.
The man in charge seemed
Man in,
quite potent.
man in charge seems that, at least at this stage, he could probably dispense of us rather easily. No offense, of
briefing-
course.
Seen
I am
come
not
out.
easily slain.
That
Many creatures have tried. And yet here I stand. Or
Happy-
sit, rather.
I've been...
Simeon,
Oh, sorry, go on.
make a dex save.
I didn't stand up! Alright, you know what? I did. I stood up
Yep.
to be grandiose. That was a
Right, fair enough.
16.
A fly bounces off your cheek.
I kind of just look up to Simeon and just wait for a moment for him to regain his composure, maybe. Not quite sure if that really stopped him in his stride there. And Agrax just continues to say, I think we should probably see what's happening at the guild and just see if there's any murmurings around town about anything that may have happened whilst we were gone.
Yes, that probably seems best.
Okay, with that, Nagrax will go quiet and just focus on the journey unless anyone wants to say anything else.
Okay
Nope.
then. Whilst you guys are travelling, as I said, the mode is quite muddy generally. You see at the side of it there's pools of water. As you go down the main road that led in that you followed, you start to notice it becomes more and more muddy until eventually you reach a point where you can just see the road completely flooded with water. There is another carriage coming in the opposite direction, and they wave you down.
You mean indicating for us to
Yeah.
cross?
To stop.
To stop.
Yes.
Okay, Nagrax will oblige.
Okay, you pull to a stop, and they pull to a stop beside you. Hey, you don't want to go that way. It's we've nearly just gotten stuck. It seems the road seems to be completely flooded for as far as I can see. We got about as far as the water reaching the bottom of our carts. We didn't really want to risk it any further. I probably want to advise you to do the same.
Would you advise
Thanks.
of another way around?
Oh, yes, that's quite easy. If you continue down for about a quarter of a mile, there should be off-roads that goes to the north. If you follow that, you'll be able to follow it and hook back around and eventually come back down south towards the town of Kron. I assume that's where you're heading?
Yes, it is.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, just about quarter of the mile down. It's the only real offshoot from this road, to be honest, so you should be able to miss it, unless you're half blind.
My ocular faculties are perfectly good, sir.
Big words. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I just advise you to turn around and pop down that road. And I mean, you could try risking it, maybe, but I probably wouldn't advise it. Anyway, a good day to you. And that's my good day for the day. And with that, he's off.
Can I just
Many
ask
thanks, sir.
something? Can I roll insight to just double check that nothing
ahead.
he said just now was kind of like trying to lead us into a trap?
He seemed completely genuine.
He seemed
It
genuine.
seemed like he was particularly thick, to be honest. So
What does it
it
say?
seems like he wouldn't be able to. It seemed like he was particularly thick.
Particularly
So
thick.
he probably won't be able to lie well
Yeah.
enough, to be honest.
I think Nagrax is just quite suspicious generally right now, so I think he's just kind of a bit more on guard than usual. Nagrax will kind of just take his advice and traverse the route that you mentioned.
Okie dokie.
While I'm riding back here, can I prepare some of my spells?
Oh, yeah, of course. Finion will be doing his meditation during that as well.
Alrighty then.
So you retreat back up the roadway a bit, and you find the offshoot to the north, and you start to travel up it. You notice that the road seems to be a bit less muddy. It's still muddy, but it's a bit more solid. It seems to go uphill a little bit.
Okay. Is this straining the horses?
You can see them starting to get a little bit tired by this stage.
How long have we been riding for at this point?
I'm going to say 4 hours.
Is there anywhere? Are there any settlements that we can stop at, or is this kind of like out of the way where we are at the moment?
So far, you've not really seen anything. It's been quite a wooded trail.
Okay. I'd probably say. How many hours did you say it was again?
4 hours.
4 hours. I'd probably say maybe go for another half an hour and then allow the horses to rest for a bit.
Okie dokie. I'll say that you managed to find a bit of a clearing that looks like being like this little pleasant place for the horses to graze. So yeah, let them graze.
Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was only going to say if nothing else happens, Nagrax will take 10 minutes just to do his meditation.
Yep, that's fine. Do you do it in the cart or do you do it on the soggy pillow?
I do in the cart.
I'll jump
Okey-dokey.
off the cart and just stretch.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Oh. Sometimes this armor a bit uncomfortable.
When was the last time you took that thing off?
When I slept, did you not see me?
No.
I've slept in armor before. It's not the most comfortable, I'll say.
Either way, I think we'll all need to visit the bathhouse when we return.
Have you tried getting a padded lining? It might help a little bit.
Smart lad, this one.
Absolutely. I'll look into it with our newfound wealth.
Finion's going to go over to Flint's. So what was that bag that you got?
Oh, this bag of tricks.
What does it do?
From what I understand, there are small
Right, you
fuzzy
don't actually used it yet, so you don't actually know.
Oh, okay. You know what? I don't know.
Can I have a look?
Sure, but be careful. It is somewhat magical in nature, from what I can tell.
He opens the bag and looks in it and sees it's empty. He kind of looks up at you, but he puts his hand in it. He can feel something and pulls it out in his little fuzzy ball. Huh, that's weird. What's this?
Can I tell what it is?
Do you take it off him?
No.
I'd say roll your Arcana. Okay. Looking at that, you'd say it's some kind of. Basically, you don't actually know what it is, but it has a magical property to it that will cause something to appear.
Can I tell it will cause something to appear?
You can tell that much from that, yes.
Mind if I take a quick bio break while you're having this conversation?
As long as you don't do it into the bag of tricks.
Yeah.
That'd be for the bag of holding.
Oh God, no!
It looks like that thing there is used to summon some sort of creature, though I'm not quite sure what.
How do you summon it? He kind of holds it out and goes, "Ha!"
I just throw it nearby.
Roll your table.
It's 1d8, right?
Yes, it is.
Just for
And you've got the basic bag of tricks.
5.
I just want to say, Doom, for comedic purposes, Nigrax is kind of just finishing his meditation at this point, so he's not listening, but...
It was the grey bag of tricks I had, right?
Yes.
That's a panther.
Panther.
Yeah.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Okay then. Actually, I need to get the stat sheet for a panther out.
It's not a... Yeah, you just summoned a Tamask. I mean, that would be a great way to just sort of get the... So you're fighting 12 ancient red dragons now?
Certainly bag of tricks.
It's a shame it wasn't a spider or something.
Oh, you wish.
Okay, we're fighting a panther now, so I mean...
No, the panther spawns and it looks around, then it looks at Flint's, and it goes up towards Flint's and it just licks his hand
Ah, that's adorable.
and purrs.
Hey there, guy. I plus the panther said like it's a cat.
It just kind of...
Let's say I went off to take a piss against a tree and I've just come back. What? What on earth? A wild beast. Do
It's
not
okay.
worry. I'll slay it.
It's okay, Simeon. Calm down. It's just my pet panther.
You have a pet?
Yes, came from this bag of tricks I found in the mansion.
You pulled a panther out of a bag. That bag does not seem big enough to hold such a creature.
Here, would you like to give it a try? I hold out.
The bag or the panther?
I hold out the bag for Simeon to look at.
I'll take it from him and look in.
It looks empty when you look in.
There's nothing in here. Is this a jape? At my expense? It's a good one.
Can I have the bag back now?
Yes.
I reach my hand in, pull out one of the balls, and then put it back in the bag.
Or you just put the ball straight back into the bag.
Yeah.
What japery is this? You certainly are full of magic. I'm glad I don't dabble in such things.
He just threw it before, and it just kind of made that appear. It was weird.
Oh. Is it friendly?
Seems to be.
It's purring against Flint.
Can panthers purr?
This one does.
Which is thrilling to you and your companions and acts on its turn. Ah,
Tigers
cool.
purr, so yes.
Ah, do they really? Holy
I mean,
fuck.
would you want to give the panther sass?
What is its name? What's the panther from Jungle Book called? I don't remember. Don't remember.
Yeah, that.
Was
that
it Shere Khan? Or was that the tiger?
Shere Khan's the tiger.
Bagheera.
Could be
Might be,
Bagheera.
might be Bagheera.
Yeah, that sounds right. Let's go with that then.
Either way, I'm going to call this panther Steel.
Steel! A fantastic name. Like a blade.
I thought you'd approve.
Oh, of course. Well, welcome to the party, Steel. And I try and pet its head.
It lets you pat its head. It flicks its ears.
Quite a motley crew we've got here. Hey, Frank. Almost forgot you were down there.
Yeah, the eye opens on the mimic. Yeah, that happens a lot. I get kind of used to it. Hey, you
Sorry
can
if-
die. Congratulations. Better than the last adventures. I ate the swords and left them.
Speaking of
Wow.
which, Frank, I have a nice tasty dagger for you here. I take out one of my daggers and feed it to Frank.
He immediately takes it and swallows it. Yes, thank you. Frank actually grows his legs and arms and stands up and stretches. I need to walk around for a little bit. No offense to you, but getting jostled around all the time, it kind of eventually get a bit tiring. You pat you on the butt.
Me or Simeon?
Me?
Simeon, yeah. Hey, don't look at me like that. I'm only so tall. I can't reach that high.
You can reach my hand, can you not?
I'm not going to hold your hand. That's weird.
Yeah, come on, Simeon.
There's too much shenanigans going on here.
As Simeon gets animated, Nagrex kind of rouses from his meditation and just comes over and said, Simeon, what are you shouting about? Is that panther?
Yes, he pulled it from the tiny bag that had nothing in it. I'm very confused.
Nagrex just kind of goes to pat the panther.
It sniffs
okay.
your hand and tilts its head.
Towards me or away?
Just to the side. Just kind of like,
Yeah, I reach it to pet it.
it lets you pet it. How do you pet it, though?
Just gently.
How do you pet it? Where?
Just kind of on the top of its head.
Goes for the stomach. Rookie move.
Nagrex has animal handling. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it lets you pet it and it purrs a little bit.
Oh, he likes you, Nagax.
Faithful companion, if you can treat it right. I assume he's in your care now, Flint?
It would seem so.
I assume it's a he at any rate.
Can I check its gender?
Sure, roll a d12, a d4, sorry. Male is odd, female is even.
Not animal handling?
Nope.
Oh no! Not that kind of stream.
Oh, I should look at the wrong thing. Okay, so it's female.
I believe it's a female Nagax.
Ah, I see. Apologies.
How long will the panther stay around, by the way?
Until its hit points hit 0, or I think it is until dawn. So it's essentially all day.
Okay.
Let's quickly double check that. Creature vanishes the next dawn or when it is reduced to 0 hit points.
Okay.
Nigrax finishes passing the panther and he just kind of says to us, I'm ready to continue our journey when you all are.
Would anyone like to try pulling a fuzzy ball from this bag of tricks here?
Yes, but what does the fuzzy ball have to do with anything, Flint?
Just reach into the bag now, Gax. I say, holding the bag for him.
Nigrax gingerly reaches his hand into the bag of tricks, knowing that he's been tricked before. But
No, you reach your hand in, and your hand clasps one of the fuzzy balls.
I appear to have something here. I take my hand out of the bag.
Okay.
The bag was empty.
Are you sure you don't want to
very
try this, Simeon?
I kind of step back so Simeon can try the bag again if he wishes. I'm still holding the ball, by the way.
Yep.
I'll reach in.
You reach in and you can't actually feel anything. Feels empty.
It is empty. You guys are pulling the wool over my eyes.
I don't know what to say, Simeon. I literally just reached into the bag and... Are you sure?
Is it because I put the other ball back in, counting that as a use?
Nigrax just kind of quizzically stares at the ball. So, what does this do? Is this how the panther came to be here, or?
All I did was throw it over there. No point to the direction I threw it.
Nigrax throws the ball a short distance away.
Okay. Roll a d8. Okay. It transforms into a boar, and as that boar appears, the panther disappears.
That's interesting.
Steel, no!
It would appear that this bag can summon several creatures, but only one at a time, it would seem. This could have rather useful applications down the road.
The boar comes over to you, Nigrax, wagging its little tail.
Nigrax will pet the belly.
It will actually let you.
What
boar
was that
is
say? Nigrax.
Potentially more of a formidable opponent than a panther. Boars, they will fight to the death.
I mean, I kind of reach to see whether he kind of resists.
And if that does happen, at least we have dinner.
Does the boar kind of lurch away when I tried to reach for its belly?
That may let you.
I kind of just said to Simeon, it seems perfectly fine to me, Simeon.
It does now. We ever hunted a boar?
It side eyes you.
Ferocious beasts.
I could imagine, but this one means there's no harm.
I'm glad it's on our side. Do you have a name?
It just makes the whatever a boar sound is. I can't mimic it.
The boars in Valheim, I guess.
Yeah, I imagine boars have the same attitude as they do in Valheim. Is that they'll fuck you up.
Nigrax just kind of stands at this point and he'll go back to the wagon.
Okay.
Does the ball follow?
Yes, it does.
Okay. If the ball follows, I kind of allow it to ride with, I guess.
Alright, so you light it up and put it in the back.
I was going to say, I got to get up in the passenger seat and the ball's sitting there. Well then, guess I'll ride in the back.
I just have a mental image that the ball kind of hands me the reins with its mouth.
mean, you can command it, so.
I'm getting
Yeah.
like Simpsons movie vibes now. It's like his pet pig.
Yeah. And I
I
just
see.
say, as he hands me the reins, just go, "Thank you, Bernard."
Vernon.
Yeah.
Does this bag? All right, I don't know what this bag does. Are these animals actually real? Or they're like
You don't know.
incorporeal things? Or
I'm guessing with how the panther disappeared, that we can only have one summoned at a time, even though
I'm-
it doesn't specify.
It doesn't
Nothing.
specify, but I'm not having you have like 4 giant hyenas or something
Yeah.
like that.
We can only
3
have
giant
3,
hyenas.
Which is
damn it.
perfectly reasonable.
out
Okay.
of all of those 8, and you think the hyena is the broken one,
That was the first thing I saw when I looked at it.
not the tiger or fuck an
And the
ape or a
ape-
baboon. I'd be terrified of one of them. Holy fuck!
I've only got the grey bag of tricks though, so yeah.
What's an
Oh.
axe beak?
So what, sorry?
What's an axe beak? Some sort of
It's going to be
bird?
some kind of bird, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. With that, Nagrax will continue to ride.
Okay, you guys continue to ride.
Wide.
Ride.
Ride.
And you notice the trees start to thin out a little bit as you're riding. Yeah, I want to say you need to make a perception check. In the distance, you see what seems to be a large sword, about 2 or 3 stories high, stuck at an angle in the ground. Everyone roll a history check.
Excuse me. How big is this sword?
2, 3 stories high.
Stories.
Okay. Nagrax in particular is very familiar with this. Actually, I just need to get a couple of something. Hold on with me for a second.
It's a giant sword. Seems to be I think an anime character may have left this.
What's anime?
Okie that sword is a leftover from a battle from around 3 to 4 centuries ago, when the gods sent avatars of themselves to the planet, well, basically to the mortal realm, to fight against the great evil. That sword is where the god's avatar of a Tempest fell, and the sword is the only thing that remains of him. Nagrax, you know that there's a shrine there to the god, which is generally used to pray to many different gods, in particular Tempest.
Okay. Nagrax, upon so he'll relay that information, and he'll also say, "I would like to make a stop here, if you wouldn't mind. I'd like to pay homage to this god. The sacrifice was great, and I feel it only right to honor their memory."
Yes, of
As you
course.
will.
Okay. Nagrax will kind of stop near the shrine, and he'll pray.
Okay, when you approach the shrine, there are a series of different shrines dotted around. Where the sword is embedded in the ground, there is like a collection of stones, like Stonehenge, surrounding it. Away from that, there are several other circular configurations like that, and within each of the arches, there is a statue to a different god. There are several different people who are also there praying. They seem to be travelers of different types. Some might be merchants, some might be adventurers, all praying for basically good luck from their gods.
Okay. First thing I'd like to see, upon seeing that there's shrines to several gods here, I would like to see if I can find a shrine to that god I encountered at the guild hall.
That we know nothing about.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned that yet.
Make an investigation with advantage. Okay, with 13, I'm going to say that you do manage to find a shrine to her.
Okay.
And you also, beside her, see a shrine to the god of peace.
Okay. I will approach the shrine of that goddess.
Okay, then. As you approach what's everyone else doing whilst he approaches the shrine?
I'm just watching what Nagrax is doing.
Okay.
I'll just sort of just wander around, just bit curious. I'll
say-
see the god of peace, and I'll sort of elbow Nargrax like, if they had their way, I'd be out of a job.
We all
I'll
would.
just wander off.
Okay, let's say that. Do you wander towards the sword or to the fields or? To
Yeah,
some
I'll have a
people?
look. I'll just have a. I'll be in awe at the size of the sword.
As you look up at the sword, you can see that the sword is actually quite a bit bigger than it seems. It seems that some of it is buried under the ground. Where the hilt is, there is a kind of glowing red energy that pulses down the center of the blade and into the earth. As you watch it, you can assume that the avatar that held the sword must have been 5 or 6 stories tall.
One can only imagine the battle, the scope of the thing that went on with this.
Okay, now going to Nagrax. Nagrax, as you approach the statue, you notice it doesn't really look as well cared for as a lot of the other ones. But as you look at it, you can kind of sense something from it faintly. The feeling is familiar.
Mm-hmm. I will approach and touch the statue.
As you touch the statue, you can feel a similar sensation to what you felt last time, but it's not quite the same.
Right. When you say not quite the same, does this feel like a different entity?
No, it feels like it's just a bit too distant.
Nagrax kind of in his... He won't say this out loud, he'll kind of assume that there might be some degree of telepathy. He'll just say, if you can hear me, please, let me know what you were trying to ask me back at the guild. I want to help you, but I need to know more.
You see a brief flash of an image, and you see her face just for a second, and her lips speak a word, identify.
Hmm.
And then it's completely gone, and you notice that the energy coming from the statue is weaker.
As she says that, I kind of remember the fact that she gave me that spell as an ability, and I do cast it on the statue.
Okay, as you cast it on the statue, you suddenly feel a link with her form, and you can see her in front of you.
Okay.
I'm assuming I cannot.
No. To you, all you've seen is he's reached out his hand and he's cast a spell on the statue. You can sense
Okay.
the spell that's been cast.
Okay.
Okay.
You found another one of my statues. I'm sorry. It seems I've been forgotten. The statues, they used to be potent with radiant energy, but without prayers, that slowly died away. A lot of my statues only have a limited amount of energy left in them. We can only talk for so long.
What do you need me to do to help you?
I need you to free me. I'm
And
trapped. I've been trapped here for centuries.
how may I free you?
You see her think for a second. I only know of one way to reconnect to this particular type of plane. You see a brief image flash through your mind. You see 3 black spires. These are not like the spires of the ones that you enter to hunt monsters. These are just like spires to a building. You see a gate, ornate, with emerald carvings around it. And you see inside there are a series of doors through a dungeon, and her vision leads you to a particular one at the end of a corridor. When this door opens, beyond it is a seal. You see briefly the image of what seems to be a portal leading to another place, and then it fades back to the seal.
With the seal, do I recognize it?
Roll religion. Actually, no, roll arcana instead. It seems to be some kind of a binding seal.
So it's just a binding seal.
Yes.
Okay, so as the vision ends, Nigrax will ask, "Where is this?"
You notice that when you return to see her, her image has become faded. She's starting to disappear.
No, wait, please tell me where this is.
Northwest. To the... She fades. When you spoke the last bit, you spoke it out loud, whereas previously you hadn't actually been speaking out loud.
Yeah, because there's no link.
Mm-hmm.
Nigrax doesn't really sort of pay any mind to this. He just kind of like grunts in frustration that he couldn't quite get all the information he wanted.
Flint did, however, hear the last bit. You heard him shout, "No, wait."
Are you okay then, Hograx?
Yes, Flint. I apologize. That was rather strange experience. I'll talk to you about it later if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Sort of as Nago says that. Did you say that was like a shrine to like a god of peace next to that?
Yes.
Which god of peace is this? Is this the same one that the cult of Aldeth worships?
Correct.
It is.
The statue is of a woman in full plate armor. She is kneeling. Her left hand is holding a mace that looks like a large stone mallet, with another one set by her, one of her feet, with her other hand outstretched, palm open, with a smile on her face.
Seeing these two statues side by side, Doom, is there anything that stirs in my memory to tell me if these two gods are related? Or like have like I mean I
Roll
know
religion with advantage.
yeah.
You
Unfortunate.
don't really know of any connection between the gods.
Nigrax kind of does think that even though he can't think of a connection right now, that there might be a reason that these two gods are next to each other and kind of bears it in mind for later. With that, he will just go around praying to the other shrines, not really taking any special interest in the others, just paying his respects.
Okay.
Do I see a statue to Azuf?
Say again, sorry.
Do I see a statue to Azuf?
From which table is that?
I'm just looking at the basic rules in D&D Beyond.
Do you know which god that is?
God of Wizards.
I see him there. Right.
The fan point.
Yes, you will see that statue if you look around.
You can like go to the statue and just look. I don't know, kind of hurt, kind of angry.
Now you look at the statue. I'll say that the pose for the statue seems to be of an old man, a long beard, holding a staff, and in another hand holding its palm up, seems to be clutching what would be fire, with a frown across his face.
Yeah, I'd be frowning too.
Do you do anything?
No.
Okay.
I'm just offing it back.
Other than
I can't believe how large this sword is. Ridiculous.
I best go over and make sure Simeon keeps himself out of trouble.
Doom, can you just repeat what the name of this landmark is?
I didn't actually say the name of the landmark. Bear me a second, I gotta find my note.
I mean, I could ask an NPC if that's easier.
Wrong notes. There it is. It's gonna be in this document somewhere. Bear me a second, I forgot to actually bolden the name. It is called the Shrine of Yardren, which is the name of the sword. You'll know based on your roll.
Yeah. So So he'll bear this in mind. So as Nigrax finishes praying, are there still anybody about?
There are a couple of traders just kind of meandering before carrying on their long journeys.
Are there any other men of faith here, or are they just kind of passers-by?
They just seem to be passers-by.
Just passers-by. Okay. In that case, Nigrax will just make his way back to the cart. Still quite frustrated with himself.
Finion will have noticed the way that you stared at that statue. When you come back, while she's still to one side, he'll stand beside you. Are you okay? What's wrong?
Yes, Finian, I'm...
He's speaking to Flint.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me.
No.
Oh, my apologies. I thought you said noticed that I was staring at that statue. I saw you was talking to me. Sorry, apologies.
No, nothing. It just used to be the god of my family. It's a painful memory. It's not something I'd wish to talk about.
Oh, well, if you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Thank you. Who knows? Maybe after a few drinks, my tongue will be loose.
As long as it's not your stomach.
I think we have to worry about Nargax for that one.
Okay. Everyone goes and stands by Simeon, then I assume, and I'll look at the sword.
That's one big sword.
It's like it's getting bigger the more I look at it.
Have you tried picking it up?
I do not think I could wield such a blade.
I'd have thought you've at least tried.
Could you imagine what did?
Yes. Just imagine the carnage on the battle. That's to be the sight for it to behold.
All the stuff Simeon noticed before, do we notice it as well?
All of which stuff?
Like you said, there was an energy pulsing around it and into the ground.
Yes, you will be able to outright see that. Because every maybe 20 or so seconds, there seems to be a bolt of energy that will pulse down the sword's length.
Can I touch the sword?
Go ahead, touch the sword.
Just place my palm on it.
When the energy pulse goes down the sword, you sense a warmth pass by you. Then it disappears into the earth. And make a will save.
Uh-oh. That wisdom.
Yes, sorry. I keep saying will.
Doom's playing Pathfinder over here.
You see just a brief flicker of an image briefly. And you see in the distance where one of the mountains was, it seems to be a lot more whole. And when you come back to here and now, you notice part of it's completely missing from what you just saw.
Wow. Amazing.
What is?
I'll just be like looking at the sword but in awe, and I'll just like grab his head and turn it towards the mountain behind us, or wherever the mountain was.
I say it's like in front of you.
Or in front. I'll just like slightly turn his head so he's looking at the mountain then.
Mhm.
This did that.
How could a sword do that?
With great power, I imagine.
Finian will speak up. We should probably get moving before it gets any later.
Yes,
Today.
lad. You're right. You're right. Come, let's go.
Alrighty then.
Nargax, are you coming?
Yes, we should get going.
Nagrash, roll perception. As you're walking away, you notice that the boar had been sitting in front of a statue to basically what was an animal god, with its head bowed. As you start to move, it stands up and follows you.
Yeah. I just
Hmm.
kind of like I'll just crack a light smile and I just bled the boar sort of match my pace as we go back to the wagon.
Cool.
Okie dokie. You guys return to the wagon. I assume you'll get on your way.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
Okay then.
Yep.
Keep traveling, and as the day starts to stretch on, the sun starts to crawl down the sky. And it's starting to go dark.
It's taking much longer to get home this time round.
As I see it's going dark, I do, because we've stopped a couple of times, I get the horses to try and pick up the pace a little bit.
As you do that, you notice that they are getting a bit laboured.
Okay, so I don't push them too hard if I see that they're becoming noticeably fatigued.
Okay. As you carry on, I'd say you manage to get a few more hours, and then the sun is on the horizon.
So I'm guessing we're still out in the middle of nowhere and it's dark now.
Correct.
Okay. Is there like a tree that we could stop near? Or
It's
The
literally
Drake
going through
it's in-
forests and stuff.
Right.
There is more than one tree to stop near.
well, it's because you mentioned like the trees were thinning earlier, so I didn't know what our current surroundings look like.
Fair enough. Yeah, you see, it is generally thinner than it was. It's not heavily wooded like you had previously been passing through. There are trees here and there. There's lots of open fields.
Yeah.
You see,
So
the land is a little bit marshy around you.
it's a little bit marshy.
Yeah, but you can see dry patches.
Yeah, I think seeing that the horses are tired and it's sort of getting later, we'll just say to the party. It would seem that our diversion has caused us to be a bit delayed on our journey. I'm afraid we'll probably have to stop here for the night.
Yes, you don't want to be driving a cart through the nighttime. You hit a pothole, lose a wheel spoke. It's bad time.
Yeah.
Bad time all round.
With that, I'll get the horses to pull over.
Okay, then. You pull the horses over and you find a place to set up.
Yeah.
I'd say you find one easily enough, and you set up a little camp. I'd say you'll have to eat, so
We have the
knock off.
sandwiches still, don't we?
You do, yes. Knock off your
So-
sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's what I asked for.
We got them.
Is there anything you guys want to do, or do you simply skip through the night and do your watches?
I think Nagrax would like to talk to Flint at some point. Whether he wants to talk to him tonight or tomorrow is up to him.
Bless you.
Bless you. Oh, sorry, I didn't. As I said, I didn't know if Flint wanted to speak this evening or whether he wanted to skip to the next day.
I've no intention of speaking to anyone, so I'd want to skip to next day.
Okay, in that case, Nagrax will just keep it to himself and he'll just take first or second watch.
I'll take first.
Okay, then, and then Finion will finish up as normal. I'm going to say you guys just generally have a peaceful night. I won't even go through the watches or anything this time. It doesn't really rain at all. There's a light spattering at one point, but it quickly passes, and you guys continue to settle and sleep and get a full rest. As the morning dawns, it's a little bit chilly, and it looks like it might rain again. But currently, it is mostly dry. Do you guys simply set out and go to continue your quest home?
We will, yes.
Okay, then.
Although Nagrax would like to address the party when he's kind of traveling next.
Okay, so you guys are now traveling. Your bar has gone, by the way.
Yeah, I assume so based on what you said earlier. I kind of like looked to where I would have seen the bar before going to sleep and just kind of wonder where it went. And would I actually know about like it disappearing at dawn?
I said that Finion saw it disappear, and he told you.
Okay, fair enough. So I won't question any further.
I'd like to check my bag. Can I actually check the bag to see if there's anything in it instead of pulling one
As
out?
you reach inside, you can feel there's some fuzz in there.
Looks like the fuzzy balls are back as well.
You
Good.
can only feel one.
Oh, can only feel one though, so who knows? I'll save this for combat in case we need a helpful ally.
Okay. So with that, we set out.
Indeed.
Okay. So as we're traveling home, they'll be quiet at first, but then Nagrax will kind of just say quite abruptly, "I think I owe you all an apology."
Well, what have you done?
Something has been bothering me for the last few days, but I've not really seen an opportune moment to broach it with you all. It's regarding what happened at the shrine, Flint.
Oh,
When you were after the morning after I got rather drunk and you were training with Reginald, you may have noticed that I was absent for a short period. I noticed that a sound coming from the back of the guild hall. Are you familiar with the statue back there?
I am not. Can't say it's an area I've ventured to.
I assumed you were just throwing up some more. I didn't notice your absence.
No. I could hear sounds coming from over there, and well, I didn't want to mention this because, frankly, I don't think that many would really understand this, but it spoke to me.
The statue spoke to you?
Yes, yes. When I touched the statue, I felt some vigor. You may have. I've noticed that since I touched it, I seem to have gained the ability to identify certain magical artifacts. I was able to tell. I was able to understand the properties of the mace that we found in the mansion without really ever seeing it before. It was the strangest thing. And then when we were fighting the dog, I was in danger and I just seemed to will myself away and I seemed to teleport. I haven't had these abilities before. And in my studies, I've never seen another cleric utilize such powers, so I don't know. But it was a goddess of joy. She beseeched me to help her. I noticed another one of her statues yesterday, and she spoke to me again. Wanted me to. I saw a vision. There seemed to be some sort of tap. I couldn't really make the vision out too clearly. It seemed to be three spires with a gate and then some sort of a seal. I'm sorry for not mentioning this earlier. I just didn't really know how to really broach the subject. Yeah. He's
What did the goddess look like?
she was like holding like a basket, wasn't she, doing or something like that?
The statue was, yes.
The statue was. When I actually saw her, did she kind of present herself the same way?
She looks a lot like a statue. She's wearing a flowing gown.
Yeah.
She has soft features, long hair. She doesn't have the basket of bread.
Though the statues hold a basket of bread, in the vision I saw, her complexion was still that of stone, but she had a flowing dress and rather fair features. I mean, given that I'm a cleric, I have had encounter with gods before, but never anything so vivid. Never with so much clarity. It was perturbing. I didn't really know what to make of it at the time, so I just needed time to process it. But
Would I be able to tell which god this is?
I mean, I'll tell you the god's name. Admittedly, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Alera,
Alea, yeah.
the
Okay,
goddess
then
of
do I-
joy.
Yeah, I
Do I know
knew she was the goddess of joy. Sorry, what was that?
Do I know anything about this god?
I'm going to say roll history.
Yes, I do. I know everything about this god.
Seems so.
He knows
Okay.
this town, and he knows this god.
The goddess Lilira was generally celebrated by civilians. She was a god of festival. She was a god of that generally just brought joy wherever she went. She touched the lives to help give fertility. There used to be festivals during the summer to honor her centuries ago. But eventually, it seems that prayers to her began to go unanswered, around about 3 to 4 centuries ago specifically. And when that happened, people eventually started to distance themselves from her. As it stands right now, she's generally a forgotten god. Her only real thing to show she still exists are the statues that used to stand to her.
I
You don't
relay.
need to repeat all that.
Yeah, I relay most of that to Nalgrax. But I
Yeah.
put more emphasis on the god stop answering prayers sort of thing.
Yes.
Like there's a bit of venom in
No one knows why it happened.
Yes, she did mention that she was forgotten, and what was curious is that she was asking to be released. When I had my vision, there seemed to be some sort of seal binding her to a location, and when I asked where she was, she simply just said that she was to the northwest. I don't really know what else to make of this, but the main reason that I'm mentioning this to you now is that I noticed another statue to the side of Elaleris, the god of peace that the cult of Aldef worship.
I would say that given you got the nat 20 on the previous one, you know that she was the sister to the god of peace.
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
actually say, but I don't know of a relationship between the two.
Yes, they were sisters, I believe.
That is interesting. And Nagrax suddenly looks kind of not worried, but yeah, that he was a little bit nervous of the request after kind of realizing that.
Siblings squabble all the time. Maybe it was a family matter. Why she stopped answering prayers.
I frankly don't really know what to make of this, but when the time comes, I probably have no right to ask this, but will you aid me in trying to find out more about this problem? I can't in good conscience let an innocent being suffer, but I don't want to act alone and in haste. I feel that I will need your help.
I'll do this for you, my friend, but just know I hold no love for the gods.
I appreciate that, Flint. I appreciate your support. I kind of look to Finion and Simeon to see what they've got to say.
I do not hold favor with the gods. I do not put much stock in them either. But I will stand with you, my friend. We're comrades in arms.
And finally, I look to Finion.
I don't really know much about the gods. We never really pray to them. My family believes in an afterlife, but they believe it's something that they can touch even now. They don't really believe in a singular being, just a circle of life. But I'd like to help you if I can. I've never known seen a god, so it'd be nice to.
Nagrax smiles softly and just says, "Thank you. It really, yes, I really appreciate the sentiments." And
We could try going to a library when we get back to see if there's anything about the spires.
I made a note of the landmark. I was perhaps going to ask some men of faith in the town of Kron to see whether there's anything noteworthy to the northwest that may be of relevance to this god.
Finion will nod.
Sounds like a plan.
But Nigrax regains his composure a little bit. We should probably see what the situation is in town. I wouldn't want us to make an unnecessary diversion on my account. We should probably just concentrate on getting back to Kron first of all.
I wonder if that reward Finion promised has arrived yet.